the bigger truth that I've been aware of for a long time, and I keep watching over and over again, is the greater power that changes things comes from that which is beyond this, because this is the level of effect. We relate to it as cause, and because we're down here, we're playing the cause-effect game. We're playing the game of we reap what we sow, so we get very focused in on what we're sowing, and what the people around us are sowing is what's generating all the effect. And yet, in truth, this is an effect. John Roger used to say, creation is finished. So if creation is finished, then we're not really creating as much as we're altering, adapting, modifying the creation that's been laid out. I think in the Genesis it says, and God created the heavens and the earth in 6 days, and then it was finished. He said, it is done and it is good. So, in a strange way, the power beyond all of this orchestrates and modifies all this in a way that we down here can really never truly understand. I've shared before that in the spirit world, I've witnessed a number of times Christ meditating the world awake. Like he literally holds the planet in his consciousness and is lifting it and shifting it and adapting it. By holding it in this sounds strange to say, but the conceptual remembrance of God's intention for it. It literally starts to transform the form, the energy, the consciousness that's connected to this earth into that which is God's intention for it. And so we would think that he's doing this to change the earth, but in a strange way we can understand it better, that in a sense he's working to remember the earth to the divine design, to bring below in alignment with above. It's often said, as above, so below. But there's a divine intent for this world that has not been fulfilled properly or fully here. And this is the whole reason the Christ action was brought forward, was that under the planetary plan, we could even say more than the planetary plan because it applies to other planets as well, but under this plan of creation that was set forward under Lucifer, and let's say it was lagging the divine intention of God for what this should be manifest and what spiritually and solically we should be gaining, or God should be gaining through this creation, through bringing this all forward and then learning from participation with it in the way that God intended. And so in a sense, lagging behind, there was a corrective action set forward, and that corrective action we could say is the Christ action, or the Christ opportunity. And so it's been activated into this level to bring this level into the remembrance of the divine purpose, of the divine intent that was seeded into this world, into all creation at the issuance of this creation. And yet, there's just been like a block or a delay into this level. And so there's a corrective momentum being imposed from on high. So when you look at that, you kind of go, wow, this is an extraordinary time. And yet down here, it seems like it's business as usual. The fighting and the contrariness and the positionality, the againstness, all those things that have been descriptive of the human condition and the out of balance contrariness to the natural flows and orders of life and the disharmony of all that. one of the things that's been talked about in the last few classes, that Alicia's talked about, this whole idea of the four worlds, or as she likes to refer to it, sort of converging or coming together. Another way of understanding is they're being brought back on all the levels, including those other levels. Everything is being brought back into harmony with the divine intent as it is laid out from the God realms and down into this created realm. And it's just being orchestrated from on high. 20 years ago, when I had a dying experience, and I was finishing my karma, and then I remember being very, very sick. I think I had 106 fever, and going out of my body and looking down on it and going into a spiritual place, and then having a meeting with the one we call Christ. I've been asked to, or asked might not be the right word. Sort of, yeah, I think it was because I guess I had the option to say no, but I didn't, to come back in and to continue to participate here, and just feeling that sense of done that I hadn't felt in really 20 years. And then I heard about this wave. One of the things that I had noticed is my body's been very cold for the last 2 days. Since yesterday, it was so cold all day. It didn't matter how many blankets, just always cold. But often that's been the experience I've had when I feel like the spirit pulling out of me, almost like re-examining all of this. And then when I saw that thing again today, I said, oh, that's what's going on. We're having another shift here. We're having another adventing of God's purpose. And there's a saying in the Bible which says they can't put the new wine in the old skin. So then what happens is it comes in and it starts to break down or do away with that which was, that which has been the old form, that which has been the habitual, that which has been our conceptual framework of what is so. And it really just comes in and just starts to break it down. Out with the old and with the new. And so we come to, that new time. And it's so easy for us to look for the evidence of it in the material world. Yet the evidence of it is always strongest in the inner world. And the purpose of love and its movement, its fulfillment, and its intention, making itself tangible and making us conscious and aware of its tangibility. And yet for us to become conscious of its tangibility, we have to give up conceptions, definitions, boundaries of reality that we've accepted in as so, and then lived our life as so, because those then are the old skin. It's not this is the old skin, it is the model we hold of reality is the old skin. And so the old skin then, as it starts to shift, there's a shaking and a rebelling and a resisting within the unconscious part of us, the ego within us, sometimes the basic self within us, because it shakes the familiar. And yet the old skin is to be undone for the new wine, to be tasted and consumed.